On the espionage thriller, The Old Man, our next guest plays a character with a particular set of skills that he's not afraid to use to track down his target. Here's what we meet.
The target was on his way out the door.
What do you mean, on his way out?
Packed, ready to depart, alert. Did he know I was coming?
No, he couldn't have.
Did he know the police were coming soon behind me? Because either he's the luckiest man in the world, or someone on your end tipped him off that something was coming.
Ooh, and the plot thickens. Joining us from the series is a star who has showcased his talents on projects like The Wire, The Deuce, The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, and To Kill a Mockingbird on Broadway. So please welcome back to the show the truly talented, forever busy actor, producer, writer, artist, entrepreneur, activist, and the pride of the motherland, Gbenga Akinnagbe in the house. Good morning, the Augusta of the Augustas.
That is an entrance. That is a presentation. I need you everywhere.
Oh, but why are you laughing? Are you not the pride of the motherland? Have you not? I talked to them.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at the pride of the motherland right now.
Okay, Gbenga, are you looking in the mirror? Because it's yourself. You're looking
at you. I'm looking at you.
Nuh-uh, not me.
Yes, no.
Because
yes,
Gbenga,
no.
I do not have a series that's based on a best-selling spy novel and has like an incredible cast. Seriously, like
you don't have one yet.
No, well, yeah, but you do. So seriously, just list the cast, your cast members to us because it is just out of control. A dream.
It is out of control. Amy Berman, Jeff Bridges, John Lithgow, E.J. Bonilla, like Echo Kellum. We have like an amazing cast. Joel Gray. It's ridiculous. I feel very, very fortunate to be a part of it.
You're fortunate and talented, because a lot of us are fortunate, but we don't get to share the screen with those people because you also need talent for that to work. So talk to us about...
I've paid off the right people. I've paid off the right people.
You did not. You did not. You just impressed the right people with your ridiculously incredible talent that you've shown us for years, and now you're on The Old Man. And tell us about who you play. Because, by the way, Mike, who's my frenemy, he's sitting across from me now, he's my enemy. He's been raving about this show forever. Non-stop. And I never listened to him, but because you're on it and Jeff Bridges and everyone's on, I was like, all right, I'll listen to you, Mike. So tell us about who you play, because you already told me about your character. So talk to us about who you play.
Yes. So Julian, there's a lot of reveals, so I have to be careful. Even after like the season's ended.
Yeah.
Julian is a former Special Forces who works at a hospital, a hospice, helping people who are transitioning out. But he has this special skill set, and every once in a while he's brought in to do jobs that are pretty difficult for others. And so, you know, Julian uses his special skill set and to take care of him and his grandmother.
Listen, I've heard of those skill sets, and if Mike's impressed, because he's a horror guy, there are no ghosts in this movie and this series, and he loves it. So you guys like are doing something great for sure. And let me just say about like the plethora of characters that you've played over the years. Like I remember the first time I met you here at Pix, you were here, I believe, for Lottery Ticket. And you had,
oh, wow.
I think you were limping because you were on crutches because you hurt your foot or something. And since then, you have continued to shine and shine and shine brighter than the brightest stars. So now I hear we're also going to see you on Power Ghost 2.
Yes, that was a lot of fun actually. I had a great time working with that cast and crew and those creators. And shooting in New York. I love shooting in New York. So I'm not sure when that comes out, but yeah, you'll see my face sort of hanging around the Power universe for a little bit. Got a lot of love from 50 Cent when I was welcomed to that show, and Courtney Camp. I mean, it was cool. It was cool.
Because you're cool. Just saying. And cool, and then I'm cool by association, because like I know him. Whenever people like, I was like, oh.
No, you were cool way before you came into the world.
Gbenga, we will not do this today. Today is not the day for the fight to happen on television, just so you know.
Every time on site, when I see you on site.
We'll fight later. But speaking of you being cool and being kind-hearted and being caring, you're always finding ways to give back and help communities. One organization you've been working with is Refoundry. So for people who don't know, like we see you post about it, you do like all this great stuff with it. So for people who are just being introduced to it, what is Refoundry and what's the goal?
Foundry is amazing. I feel very fortunate to be on the board and to have asked to become the board president. And we have an amazing association that we worked on. That we help people who are returning citizens who have been incarcerated, help them with getting the skills so they have their own careers. And for those who are interested to become job creators themselves, we'll be launching our new programming soon, I believe sometime in this winter. So we're excited. We have a new ED. We have our board is growing and healthy. And we get to work, as you said, in the community with men and women who are looking to build their own lives. I believe firmly in people who take the reins and create their own lives and don't let themselves be subject to the system, because in the end we're better than the system.
Aw. Spoken like a wise man that you are. And of course, just because you don't have enough stuff to do, you also have your fashion line, which raises funds for different charities. Is there anything new with the line? Because I think the last time we talked about this, you was like furniture related and stuff. You were doing like a furniture thing, and then here you go with your fashion line, Liberated People. Seriously.
Yeah. So it's been dope. Liberated People. Like you may have seen some like the Trayvon hoodie, which we to help raise money for the Trayvon Martin Foundation. We have Consent is Sexy. We have all these initiatives that we use to help awareness and funds for certain nonprofits. Black Women's Blueprint, which is a Black feminist nonprofit out of Brooklyn. So it's, Liberated People's been going pretty strong for a while. And like you mentioned, Anytone Vintage, which I'm super excited about. We've been fortunate. It's a vintage antique furniture line, which I redesign vintage pieces with using African fabrics, and the message behind that is reappropriating the appropriated. So we've gotten a lot of love. Architectural Digest, or they've really, New York Times Style Magazine, they've shown some love to the line, but also the messaging behind the line. And as a Nigerian American, get to use these African fabrics to take back and send a message, and then to add to people's stories, because all these vintage pieces have stories, and then you put them in people's homes and adding to the story of their homes. I love that. I love when people bring their own pieces to our company, and we get to add to them and refurbish and redesign them, so they continue to add to another generation.
Listen, that's why I said, when I say you're a fashionista, you're like not just doing it with like clothing, you're doing it with like furniture. I can't even, when I say you are the pride of the motherland, Gbenga, I mean you are the pride of the motherland from A to Z, as you say. The elders in the village say they're proud. Stuff. The elders say they're proud. I'm gonna go text them now, or send a pigeon to go give them a message.
Good. I live to, I'm trying to manifest their dreams, though.
Oh, you're really there. You're there and beyond. They told me to tell you. I'm gonna call them now and let them know. As the village town crier, we thank you for making us proud. Pride
you
of
are
the
that.
motherland.
You are definitely the town crier.
Right?
We all listen. What has she said?
Well, everyone, you can see more of Gbenga on The Old Man, now streaming on Hulu and available on FX On Demand. My brother, we shall see later. Enjoy.
I like how you say my name with that Igbo accent.
Gbenga Akinnagbe. You can take the girl out of Africa, but you can't take the Africa out of the girl, is what I say. Good to see you. We'll chit-chat soon when you come back from your travels, because, big things.
Yeah, I'm going to hold you to that.
Oh, no worries at all.